students, welcome to the tele-lesson of Public Administration. The topic we are going to discuss is motivation theories. The objectives of this topic are to make you to understand the concept of motive and motivation, identify the relationship between motivation and human behavior, and to analyze the different theories of motivation. The outcomes of this topic is to make you apply the hierarchy of motivation for personal and professional excellence, examine the hygiene and motivational factors of employees, students, family members as well. Differentiate between individuals belonging to theory X and theory Y category and work accordingly. And to explore the new ways of motivating the individuals for the achievement of their respective goals. As we all know that today we are amidst the different conflicts between the family members, conflicts between colleagues, conflicts between management and workers, and conflict between nations as well. Now we cannot solve these conflicts using an application of scientific skills, but here we need to understand the human nature. So for understanding of human nature, there is a need to study about human motivation. So in this context, the study of motivation assumes a great importance. Generally, human behavior is goal oriented. It is always motivated by a particular goal. Now for example, you are watching this video. Your goal is to understand this concept and to pass the examination with good marks. Now before discussing the different theories of motivation, first let us familiarize ourselves with the different concepts of motivation. Motives are the basic central point of motivation. Now, what are the motives? Motives can be defined as the desires, urge or drives of individuals which makes them act in a particular way. Now, two different individuals may act in different ways depending upon their particular motives. For example, in an organization, a team leader may offer a overtime duty to two individuals, A and B. Now A may accept the assignment whereas B may not accept the assignment. Now the motive of A may be to earn the extra money whereas the motive of B may be to spend some quality time with his family members, or he may have some other work. Now the behavior of these two individuals A and B is depending upon their motives. So for every individual, whatever they are acting, it all depends upon the particular motive. Now let us discuss about motive strength. Here we have to remember that every individual has several motives at a given particular time. All these motives compete with each other, but only one motive can be satisfied at a particular time. Now which motive gets satisfied? That is the motive which has the greatest strength. Now this motive is called as motive strength, and the person may act in a particular way depending upon the motive strength. When one particular motive is satisfied, it will give rise to another motive. This is change in the motive strength. So these are some basic concepts of motivation. After discussing this, now let us define the concept of motivation. The term motivation is derived from Latin word movere, which means to move. Now let us see few definitions of motivation. In the words of Fred Luthans, motivation is a process that starts with a physiological or psychological deficiency or need that activates behavior or a drive that is aimed at a goal or incentive. In the words of Morgan, let us define motivation. According to Morgan, motivation is a general term referring to behavior instigated by needs and directed towards the goals. So we can say motivation is the underlying process that initiates, directs and sustains the human behavior in order to satisfy the physiological and psychological needs. Now sometimes we do some activities which are enjoyable, that is which we like. For such activities, there is no external rewards. It is called as intrinsic motivation. Whereas sometimes we do things which we do not enjoy, but we do for some external rewards or to avoid some unpleasant consequences. This is called as extrinsic motivation. Now let us take an example. A person reading a book as a hobby is an example of intrinsic motivation, whereas studying a book for passing an examination, it is an example for extrinsic motivation. Now, after discussing the concept of motivation, let us see the different theories of motivation. Basically, motivation theories are of two kinds, that is content theories as well as process theories. The content theories concentrate on what motivates the people, whereas the process theories concentrates on the process of motivation, how the motivation process takes place in the individuals working in any organization. The theories of Abraham Maslow, Frederick Herzberg, Douglas McGregor are the examples of the content theories. Now, before discussing the modern theories of motivation, let us first see the traditional approach to motivation. Traditional approach to motivation is also called as monistic theory of motivation, economic theory of motivation, carrot and stick model. Now, according to this theory, it is assumed that man is basically an economic man. He works only for money and for the monetary benefits, or sometimes if there is a fear of punishment, he is forced to work. These are the assumptions of the classical approach, and F.W. Taylor, the father of scientific management, has emphasized on this approach, and later on several classical thinkers have also supported this concept. But the later research has proved that not only monetary benefits, but there are different social psychological factors which affect the moral and motivation of the employees. The first significant theory of motivation is given by Abraham Maslow. This theory is called as needs hierarchy theory. This theory is propounded by Abraham Maslow in the classic paper A Theory of Human Motivation in 1943, and his popular book is Motivation and Personality. It was published in the year of 1954. Abraham Maslow is an eminent American social psychologist, and he has given the theory of needs hierarchy. This theory is the first systematic, conceptualized model of motivation. According to the Maslow, human needs influence human behavior. Now, this is a very interesting motivation theory, and it has assumed a great importance since this has formed the basis for the various other theories in the organizational behavior. Now, let us discuss the theory of needs hierarchy. According to Maslow, human needs are arranged in the 5 levels in the form of a pyramid, that is from the lower to the higher needs. Now, as you can see in the figure, the basic and the lowest level of need of human beings is the physiological needs. Now, we can call these physiological needs as the basic needs. As we all know, we cannot live without food, water and sleep. These are the basic needs which are to be satisfied first. Then once these needs are satisfied to some extent, we try to satisfy the safety needs. According to Maslow, the safety needs of human beings include the safety of body, family, employment, etc. That is, the human being should be free from fear of disease or any kind of danger. Now, once the basic needs and the safety needs are satisfied to some extent, then the man tries to satisfy the next level of needs, that is the social needs. As we all know that human being is a social animal and cannot live in isolation. We all look for companionship, friendship and a sense of belonging. So, these needs are called as social needs. Now, when these needs are satisfied, man looks for esteem needs. Man always craves for recognition and respect from others. These 4 levels of needs are satisfied, then the man tries for the highest level of need, that is self-actualization needs. According to Maslow, self-actualization is a hallmark of any healthy individual. Now, what is self-actualization? Self-actualization is nothing but realizing one's own potential, being creative, and problem solving. These 5 levels of needs form a pyramid, that is from the lower to the higher level. Though this theory is very interesting, it is not free from criticism. It has got lot of criticism saying that no two individuals' pyramid may be similar. That is, for some people, some level of needs may be important, while for others it may be different. Now let us take an example. A person working in an organization may do not bother about his basic needs, that is food and sleep, and try to solve his assignment or to meet the deadline. That is, he wants to achieve the esteem need. So here the lower level, that is the physiological need, and even the social need is not satisfied, but he is trying to satisfy the esteem need. And another example we can give here is about Gandhiji. As we all know, Gandhiji has fought for our independence against the Britishers. He was even on the fast. Now here he has foregone his basic needs and has tried to reach the level of self-actualization. So now many critics have emphasized that this model can be only a beginning for the motivation theories, but it does not stand good in all the cases. The next important motivation theory is theory X and theory Y. This is propounded by Douglas McGregor in his book The Human Side of Enterprise in the year 1960. Now according to Douglas McGregor, the management holds two sets of assumptions about the employees, that is, assumptions under theory X and assumptions under theory Y. Now the managers assume that people which come under theory X will avoid work. They basically dislike work, and since they dislike work, they avoid responsibility, and since they avoid responsibility, they do not work properly. They need a close supervision and they need it to be controlled. And these people, they try to work not for pleasure, but they work for money and only for the monetary benefits, and even sometimes they work only because of the fear of punishment. Since these people are lazy, dislike work, they always try to resist any kind of change in the organization. So these set of people come under the assumptions of theory X. Now theory X represents the classical approach of organization. It is mainly the work centric. The other set of assumptions given by Douglas McGregor is theory Y. The people under theory Y basically love work. For them, work is pleasure and they love to take the responsibility, and they always prefer to work independently. They don't work for the monetary benefits, but they work for satisfaction, and since they like challenges, they always welcome the change in their organizations as well as their surroundings. Douglas McGregor's theory X and theory Y is criticized on the fact that these two assumptions are totally opposite, and the dichotomy is very simple, but the people are very complicated. None of the people, they come completely either under theory X or under theory Y. Now the basic problem is the managers have to understand the employees, they belong to which category, whether they belong to theory X or they come under the theory Y. If the employees come under the theory Y, then the productivity level is very high according to McGregor. But if the people working under the managers come under the theory X, they need to be changed or they need to be motivated and they need to be integrated with the organizational goals, because basically the people who come under this theory X, their goals are indifferent with the organizational goals, whereas the people under theory Y, they work along with the organizational goals. The third important theory of motivation is Frederick Herzberg's two-factor theory. This theory is also called as motivation hygiene theory and motivation maintenance theory. Herzberg has divided basically the employees working in an organization under two kinds, that is motivation seeker and hygiene seeker. Now let us see what are these motivation factors and hygiene factors. According to Herzberg, motivation factors, that is motivators, are achievement, recognition, interesting work, increased responsibility, advancement and growth. At the same time, hygiene factors are company policy, supervision, working conditions, salary and security. According to Herzberg, motivation seekers are motivated by the work itself and the hygiene seekers are motivated by their surroundings. Now it is the duty of the managers to identify their employees belong to which kind of employees, that is, they are either motivation seekers or hygiene seekers, and try to make the necessary changes for the achievement or accomplishment of the particular organizational goals. Now, how the Herzberg has come to these conclusions is he has conducted an experiment with 200 accountants and supervisors in the Pittsburgh industry. Now, the main criticism of this Herzberg's theory is that the sample of the study was very less, and they have asked questions regarding the happiness and unhappiness, but they have not measured the overall performance or the overall job satisfaction. These are the major criticism of the Herzberg's two-factor theory. So far we have discussed the different concepts of motivation and the different theories of motivation. The eminent social psychologists like Abraham Maslow, Frederick Herzberg and Douglas McGregor have given the different theories of motivation. Now let us once have a glance on these theories of motivation. According to Maslow, human needs are arranged in 5 levels, that is physiological needs, safety needs, social needs, esteem needs and self-actualization needs. According to Maslow, these needs can be satisfied one after the other, that is first physiological needs, that are the basic needs, safety needs, that is preventing from the danger, then social needs, that is seeking the companionship, and esteem needs, that is the crave for the recognition and the respect of others, and self-actualization needs, that is the highest level of the pyramid of Maslow's hierarchy. Now when we come to the Douglas McGregor's theory X and theory Y, according to the managers, theory X assumptions are, that is the average human being dislike work, they try to avoid work, they are very little ambitious and they are very indifferent to the organizational goals. Now since they are little ambitious and they dislike work, they are always being tried to be controlled, and a close supervision is necessary for the people who come under this theory X. Now the assumptions under theory Y are, the people they love work and for them work is pleasure, they are very creative and they are always self-controlled and self-motivated. They do not need any kind of supervision from their superiors and their goals are always integrated with the organizational goals. Herzberg's two-factor theory is another important theory of motivation which we have discussed in detail. Now let us see it in a glance, that motivation factors lead to positive mental health and challenge people to grow and contribute in the work environment. The hygiene factors do not directly affect the person's motivation to work but influence the extent of the person's discontent. So far we have discussed the different theories of motivation. Now we cannot conclude any of one of these theories stand good in all the cases, but they form an important segment of the organizational behavior because the motivation cannot be neglected in any organization since they act as a fuel to the employees. As you just listened to the theories of motivation, here are few activities which can be done at home for your understanding. First, you list out your short-term goal as well as long-term goal and try to trace out the motives of each of these goals. You can do this activity even with your friend so that when you write the motives individually, you can just compare the motives. With this, you will really understand how the motives work. And now when coming to the theories, you can just apply this to the Maslow's needs hierarchy. You can take the pyramid and try to arrange your 5 motives in these 5 levels of pyramid so that you will able to understand the motive comes under physiological need or social needs or esteem needs. That is, the actual motive can be understood here, and the same thing can be done with your friends so that you can really understand which needs of whom come under which category. Now here is another activity. You can go to a nearby organization and you can just interview few people and try to trace out their motivational factors which motivates them to work for an organization, and the dissatisfiers, that is the hygiene factors which leads them for dissatisfaction. Now by doing this, you can just make a chart and try to sort out the problems of the hygiene factors and try to stress more on the motivational factors, and that can be applied to other people as well. Now when the application of McGregor's theory X and theory Y, you can just visit any nearby organization, or even in your family members you can just observe few people and try to write their characteristics. By doing this, you will be able to know that people who belong to theory X and theory Y. Now as we learned that theory Y is a positive side of human beings and it gives for higher productivity, you can just try to give emphasis on the people who belong to theory X and explore new ways of motivating them. So this lesson will help you not only to understand the concept and theory of motivation, but explore the new ways of motivating the people by actually understanding the concept of motives.
ఈ కార్యక్రమాలపై మీ అభిప్రాయాల్ని, సూచనల్ని